Alrighty, and how is it going, everybody in the chat? Welcoming you back to yet another edition of the Sly 4 Optimal Loot Tournament. We are now in the second round, and we have got our first match here. I am Shadows, and I am joined in my co-commentary by Mr. Powerman. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing fine, even though it still feels amazing how I even won the match against Candyman. Like, what a comeback.
You channeled the power of millions of cute little girls in top hats, and that was all he needed to get the luck. But Power is not the contender in the second round today. He is not playing. For the first contender here, we have Mr. Ostrava, who won a previous match.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And sweet sassafras, it looks like we got ourselves a contender, and he's earned the right to face the Sly 3 Optimal Loot champ. So without further ado, in the left corner, weighing about as much as 50 pounds worth of bacon, the totalitarian of the sun, the Finnish firecracker, the profile picture of Black Spot Pete, your defending champion, Baconman.
I think that's me, yeah?
It is. People happy.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, though, gentlemen, we got a great, exciting match. As I mentioned, Baconman, the previous champion of the Sly 3 Optimal Loot Tournament, and rocking the PS Vita strats for the fans, but it's also working out for him legitimately well. So, with all of that being said, gone over the rules, so-and-so, but if you're new to the Optimal Loot Tournament, obviously, get every single loot in every single episode. If you spend 7 minutes there, you can move on, but take 2 minutes. If both runners finish within 10 seconds of each other with the same amount of loots, we got to go to a tiebreaker. But you guys already know that. I'm assuming most of you do. So, gentlemen, are we both ready over our certain characters?
I am ready.
Alrighty. And I will count you all down, and we will go on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, good luck.
Yeah, best of luck, gentlemen. Have a good match.
We go.
Go. Yes, indeed. So, the stream here kind of died a bit, but yeah, no, so exciting match here. I believe we've got a bit of a Bentley versus Sly match here. I'm pretty sure Bacon chose Bentley and Ostrava chose Sly. I don't believe this is the first time we've seen the character-on-character match, at least not for full-time Bentley players. I think Bacon was playing Bentley in the first round, and then he was playing somebody who was not a Bentley user. Yeah, it was Bacon was using Bentley, and then Mapiotho was using Sly. But Power, do you have a preference of character? Do you think one strat is better than the other?
I haven't experienced with Bender, like, I have always done the looting and Sly, so that's what I'm used to doing, so that's why I keep using Sly, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people have done, where Sly's not a bad choice by any means as well. We've talked about the comparison in previous matches, but I know when I played Remo, we were talking in the voice call before our match got started, and he was just saying, yeah, I haven't really experienced with Bentley, so I'll just keep using the Sly strats. So I think some people just maybe don't have the time to experiment with it or really get used to Bentley, but that's not a problem. Like I said, I think both characters do have their advantages and disadvantages. I believe Bentley is a little bit better for killing things because you can just sleep bomb possibly multiple guards at the same time and then just move on. And he also has much better horizontal movement with his adrenaline burst, especially if you get meter recharge around that. But Sly, I believe, does still have some good capability for killing things, and with the dive bomb attack, I believe it's called, with the paraglider, his vertical movement is much better, allowing you to move through rooftops much faster. So I think it's really interesting to kind of look back and forth and literally see where some people are struggling to get around and where some people are excelling.
The one thing I noticed about Ostrava is that he does have a 69% of trophies, so is that on purpose, or I don't know.
What do you mean? The
69% trophies completed
Oh,
as
the
an
69
Ostrava Straight 5.
Yeah, that might totally be him, you know the guy. We got a lot of fun personalities here, wonderful people here in the Sly community, so if he was just going to leave that, if he got that one time, was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it like that, wouldn't surprise me at all. Maybe it's something I'll ask him about after the match if he seriously does have that, but who knows? Could just be the way he's left it. So, I don't know. Yeah, though, we've seen about 3 minutes in now, not a lot of luck between both runners. I think both of them have done a decent job at getting around two guys with loot, just not pulling the one so far.
I mean, it seems like even though you run around the half, the card don't really have loots, like, really two cards with loot, and you're like, oh damn. So
Yeah.
unlucky sometimes.
Yeah, no, sometimes it can definitely be unlucky where even if you're using the Bentley strats, which like I said, I personally think are better for just running around and killing a lot of guards really quickly, sometimes it feels like you can just run into upwards of like 10 guards in a row with absolutely nothing. And it can be very unfortunate when you feel like you're getting around the hub, you're moving really well, you're doing all you can, and then you're not even getting the chance, which is just very unfortunate. We definitely have seen that happen to few runners thus far. Obviously, runners like Sonic and Neon not having much luck in that regard, whereas their opponents do. So we'll see if that trend continues. Baconman also, interestingly enough, using some restart checkpoint strats, which we haven't seen
It's a
from
good
many
strat.
people. Yeah, strat. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of people.
Like, yeah.
Or
I
go
gotta
ahead.
work around the big loops around the hub and then restarting checkpoint. But sometimes even doing that, I have find like only 3 cards with loot, and they were on like some bad loots.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's not a bad strat to kind of loop around the hub and then restart checkpoint. If some people don't think they can really just farm one area for guards, or if they think that an area they're in doesn't really have a lot of good loot potential, then restarting checkpoint is a good idea. Also, potentially, it hasn't happened much yet, but we saw Augie also use Ryoichi, and I find if you have someone like the Ancestors who aren't very good at killing things, restarting checkpoint can actually be a very good strategy because, well, then you just have to reset the whole world and reset the guards because if the guard doesn't die, even if you loot him and run like 1,000 miles away from him, he'll still be there with an empty pocket and no other chance to get loot. So, as I mentioned before, that's the whole other reason why a lot of people have decided to go with Bentley, just because that extra utility of being able to take out guards super quickly just really adds a whole nother layer to his game, and also with his vertical movement, as I mentioned, or excuse me, horizontal movement. Yeah, though, just 5 minutes in now. Yeah.
So far.
Oh yeah, no, both runners. This is a bit of a rarity. We've seen in the previous runs at least one person gets the chopsticks within the first minute, but the first few minutes. But both of our runners here not really having a whole lot of loot luck in EP1, which hopefully that's not a sign of their luck to come in the rest of this match, because otherwise this could get really rough. But yeah.
And actually, when I was doing some runs offline, in one run, I got chopsticks in 48 seconds. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy how
I went up to the safe house and it was there. The monkey guard had the chopsticks. I was like, okay.
yeah. This is optimal loot in a nutshell, though. One time you can have two guys pull chopsticks in the span of a minute and a half, and then other times you just get it like this. But c'est la vie, as we said, such is optimal loot. I hope for both of their players' sake. I don't want this to be Slogfest where both of them just can't get loot, and then we're waiting for someone to get a loot, but that might be the kind of match we're in for. Who knows, folks? Could be. And right as I say it, though, Ostrava breaking the trend. He gets the chopsticks, and he is going to jump out with the first loot of the match. Took him a long time to get it, but a loot is a loot, and that's going to save him 2 minutes in the long run. And if Bacon has to take a penalty here, which he could be close to doing if he decides to skip, that's a big start for Ostrava.
Let's see.
Let's see here. Bacon getting yet another guy with loot. I think he's been pulling a lot of loots. So if this ends up in a coin tiebreaker somehow, well, not somehow, it can happen, but if this does end up in a coin tiebreaker, I think Bacon looking to start out in a good position because he's getting a lot of those extra coins, and you're pulling a lot more 100, 200 loots, that can add up especially, so we'll see if that ends up making a difference for him. He is now at the 7-minute mark, so we'll see if he wants to pull a few more guards and then skip, or what his plan's going to be. And Ostrava, meanwhile, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Power, on the right side of the screen, actually going with Murray, very interestingly
Man
enough.
also got the sticks.
He did get the sticks. You are very right, my
Okay.
co-commentator. Look at this. And Ostrava with
Oh my
Murray says
God.
right back at you, Mr. Champ. I got my buckle and I'm going to stay ahead of you. Oh, man. So the first real overworld application of Murray in the tournament we saw in the first round, Kaluke, excuse me if my Finnish is absolutely butchered. We saw him use Murray in the job Grand Key Larceny to get a loot, but that is the first overworld application we have seen of Murray, and it pays off for Ostrava in one of, if not the first guard he pulled, gets him the silver belt buckle, and that saves him a lot of time because on average, I feel a lot of people really struggle to get the loot in EP2. And meanwhile,
Baconman did leave the job. What?
yeah,
Did he
what happened
mistake it?
to... Did Bacon go into Grand Key Larceny as I was talking about it?
And he went back to the hideout. Is that the?
Oh,
I
well,
don't
no.
know.
If his file started in the job, he has to start in the hideout. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think we won't count that against him because he's doing the right thing. If he messed up, he's going back to the hideout, and now he's going back to the job. Yeah. So,
Oh,
but look at this though. Everyone crap talking Murray about like how this is a terrible strat, and now we're gonna see two applications of Murray in the same run in the same episode. Insane cat, man. What is going on? I like
yeah,
this.
yeah, it was cool, but still over armory is not great. Like if you have to go for a long way, the looting takes a while, and if cards get spotted and stuff, and you get hit, you lose the card.
Yeah, that's the big thing with Murray because in Sly 3 that didn't happen, and like I said with Sly 3, Murray just also had so much more utility for moving around and knocking guards down, like the Aboriginal Ball and Berserker Charge, even Guttural Roar as I mentioned, which they gave to Bob of all characters. So it's interesting, yeah, but it's really cool to see both characters use Murray, which I'm very interested to see Ostrava's mindset for the Murray strats in EP2. If he was just doing that for fun, or if he had an application for it. So that might be something to ask him at the end of the run.
Baconman, Grand Key Larceny, and oh boy,
There
he
you
got the
go.
buckle.
Oh man. Well,
Oh.
I think the long EP1 was worth the wait because now we are just flying, folks. Ostrava having about a minute or two where he's not getting some loots, but that could change very, very quickly. And now we are off and flying, ladies and gentlemen. 2 loots apiece, dead even in EP3. Let's see how this goes. This is getting more interesting by the second, folks. Yeah.
This is getting interesting.
Just a lot of, yeah, it's getting spicy, as certain other Finn would say.
Having some bad luck here. Maybe Baconman can get a catch if he gets like insta loot like I did almost in EP3.
Wants to. And Baconman, yeah, now we see going back to Bentley. Ostrava, on the other hand, I do think he is doing a good loop here, where on that left side of the map near the Grizz Arena, I think that is generally where you want to get a lot of guards, but here I'm actually kind of surprised to see he's not using Bentley, because that's an application where I personally think the horizontal movement, as I said, between moving through rooftops or moving on the ground, Bentley I personally feel is a lot better for this episode just because of how flat it is and how much distance on the ground you have to travel, but I don't know how you feel about that, Power.
It's kind of a preference how you want to do the loop.
Yeah, well, it is
you do it.
it definitely is a preference, like I said, with the whole character choice. I think I'm kind of surprised that more people don't take the episodes into consideration, because I always think that, like, as we've seen even now with the Murray strats, certain applications can be better for certain episodes and not just, oh, hey, let's use this one character for the entire run. So I'm really glad to see that both people have been mixing it up, doing different strats here. We'll have to see if Ostrava can get lucky here, or if Bacon with Bentley is going to pull an advantage on in episode 3 because of what I said. Getting a few loots to start out. Pinnacle Rock, okay, so no dice there. Anna, so Bacon's only been in here for a few minutes. I think Ostrava, at the most, has been in here for like 3 as well. He hasn't been in here for long. And he's also using Restart Checkpoint here, which is interesting to see. I thought he was doing the one big loop, but I guess he thinks that this can be a decent application as well. It is nice to have the 2 guards right here, right out the start, because typically that guy down there will respawn at the bottom right after you go past the bones, and then if you're walking up, generally that guy will also be there on the bridge on the way to this loop. But it's interesting to see both people using restart checkpoint, not religiously, but pretty effectively for what it seems. Getting a little stuck there.
Yeah, this seems to be once again one unlucky episode 3.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you never know. If it's anything like EP2, we could be waiting here for a while, but then yeah, if the tides turn, we could just see a loot right out the bat. But I will say now, at this point in the race, with both runners getting the EP 1 and 2 loots within a reasonable time frame, and since they're this close, any skip now without some other major shakeups later in the race is going to be super impactful because, oh man, like barring, like I said, some crazy luck where people just get loots instantly, or barring somebody having a terrible P5, aka Rude Strats, Omega lol, but you know, it's just going to really be impactful. So still a very interesting race we've got so far, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Let's see, I'm looking in the chat to see, does anybody in chat remember?
Oh, there's the big bit of Baconman.
There is the mask. Yeah, I was just looking at chat to see when Ostrava can skip. He is about another minute before he can skip at around 15:03, but Bacon getting the mask, and now after being slightly behind, having to pull his loots a little bit later, and with a little mishap in starting in Grand Key Larceny that he had to reset, now Bacon is pulling ahead, and Ostrava might have to skip here, which, like I said, if he does, oh boy, Bacon out the gate, this could shift in his favor, or it could not. We'll see, though. EP4 has definitely been the bane of a lot of runners' existence this time around, so we'll have to see if he gets lucky here, if it also takes him down.
So about 1 minute, and will he skip?
Yeah, Ostrava, well, I'm very interested to see what he does here, if he skips right when he is able to, or if he's going to spend another minute or so trying to get the loot, because like I said, from my experience, EP3 is generally easier to get the loot in if you know the loots, because, or if you know the loops, excuse me. I keep mixing up, ugh, tripping over every word. I keep mixing up loot and loops. If you know the loops to get good guards in EP3, I feel like you can get it pretty fast on average, so I wonder if Ostrava is thinking about that, or if he's going to skip, which we'll probably see within a few seconds if he's going to do it.
Yeah,
Maybe not a few seconds. As you can see, a few guards here.
I mean, I've been in practice from trying to go like a bit over 7 minutes, trying to find one card still up with the loot and then skip, but yeah, Ostrava is skipping now.
Yeah, we see Ostrava unfortunately having to take the skip, and that could be detrimental potentially if he doesn't get very lucky in EP4, because now Bacon can afford to skip, assuming Ostrava doesn't get super lucky here. Oh man, this is coming down to the wire. It's going to be so interesting to see how this turns out, because like I said, Bacon doing a good job with getting some loots and getting around the hubs, but also gave Ostrava a lot of time with that Grand Key Larceny mishap, so we'll have to see how much that sets him back and if that helps Ostrava out in the long run.
I want to ask you, I mean, what is your favorite loot in Sly4?
Ooh, my favorite loot in Sly4? I feel like we have asked this for previous commentators. I actually haven't thought about this a whole lot. Oh geez, what actually would I say is my favorite loot? I honestly might say it's the gas grenade from the little mouse guards that are from the Paradox. I don't know why, I always thought it looks really cool when I started playing this game. Although there are a lot of cool looking loots, like the Emerald Dragon Eye, the Ruby Ring I always thought was kind of cool. The Scorpion Tail is just funny, but yeah. What about you, Power? Do you have a favorite?
Kind of funny how the Jewish box is 500 and the gas grenade is 200 in Paris. Makes kind of no sense.
Yeah, like I think I joked about that in one match, but in episode 5 there's another case like that where there's a pearl earring and there's the Scorpion Tail, and yet the pearl earring is worth 100 and the Scorpion Tail is worth 200. So I don't know if Salim just like upped the economy for that, if he loves the taste of Scorpion Tails so much, but he made them worth more than you know, a jewelry item made of pearls. So That's some economy they got there in ancient Arabia. Scorpions are the way of the land, I guess. Yeah, crazy. Meanwhile now, Bacon coming up on about halfway through his time, doing a pretty good job moving throughout EP4 despite Bentley's lack of horizontal movement, as I said, which I guess I should comment on that. This episode in particular is why I personally haven't used Bentley in every single episode. I personally just find it way easier for Sly with the paraglide dive to just get throughout all the rooftops, whereas with Bentley, if you're stuck on the bottom of a rooftop, or if there's not a bouncy pad close by, you kind of got to work your way around to try and get up to those high points where a lot of the guards can spawn, whereas, like I said, with Sly, I feel like it's a lot easier to traverse, but then if you're just running through the streets looking for flashlight guards, maybe that's what Ostrava's trying, or excuse me, maybe that's what Bacon is taking advantage of. You see here, he's gone back to the town area outside of the palace quite a bit to try and get a lot of these guards, and I think it's been working out for him as far as getting guards spawns. Let's see here, I think that guy did have a loot. Just cleaning him up and getting anything there. Alright, yeah, so Bacon coming up on halfway, so Ostrava had to skip. I think Ostrava should be a little bit further behind Bacon in terms of the time frame when he can skip. So I would give, again, someone in chat can check me on this. I think he has around a minute after Bacon's 7-minute time expires in this EP. Should it expire? Should he not have to skip? Both people restarting checkpoint basically in like the same time. It's crazy. Yeah. Power, do you have any sort of observations about their playstyle? Like, how do you feel they've been managing the guard spawns, and how do you feel they've been doing it as far as getting around the hub world?
Fine, like obviously the green guard is also a good strat. And you go back to the area again, and they're doing a good job.
Happy to hear it. Yeah, I think both of these runners are definitely doing a pretty good job. Bacon feels like he's taken some notes from other Bentley users. It looks like he really is adapted to the character. He knows how to get around. And Ostrava also doing a very good job of using that paraglide dive for the technique and then also killing guards extremely quickly. So to see both runners being efficient, just not getting the best luck. Ostrava nearly killing a guy with loot. We'll see if that ended up being a good decision. And it looks like he just had a clock, so it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, but you never know. Good to see him not kill a guy with loot by accident. That's quite tragic. And speaking of quite tragic for Ostrava, Bacon with 4 loots now. He is ahead. He is going to 40 Thieves and 1 loot away from winning the match with Ostrava having a 2-minute penalty. This is looking ugly for Ostrava unless he pulls something right here, which he's not gonna. So don't look now, folks, but Bacon in a position to close this thing out and move on to the semifinals to defend his title, potentially. Ostrava needs to get that loot here. It's just not going his way right now.
Bacon really wants the man vs man final.
Yeah, apparently, you know, we've had the man v man in one match, but that is not enough. We need to go the whole way. Bacon just wants to have the sub-console representation in both finals. We saw last year he got the PS2 version of Sly 3 into the Optimal Loot tournament. Now he wants the legendary Vita to be a part of history. He wants to win both tournaments with, you know, different kinds of consoles. I think it's crazy. If he does end up going to this final as well with the Vita, it'd just be funny to see. But we will see. Obviously a long way from over. Ostrava has some time to get this loot, but Bacon just needs 1 good pull, and that will be the game as of right now. Which will be the first guard per Leering, so a little more time for Ostrava. Just needs to come around for him before Bacon can boost around Arabia and get what he needs. Nothing there. I think this would also get extremely tense if Ostrava has to skip this episode, but then, you know, he ends up getting the EP5 loot before Bacon Man does, because then Bacon would be on a clock, not as strict as 2 minutes, but then you got that 4-minute time frame to restrict yourself and get a move on. So we'll have to see how this goes. Like I said, as always, EP5, you are required to get the loot. So if Bacon ends up spending a lot of time in here, you know, it's going to be bad for him. It could turn this back around just as fast as it turned up for him. And Ostrava, is he skipping? No, I think he just paused the game by accident. Might consider restarting checkpoint. And he is going to skip, so this is looking bad for Ostrava now in terms of winning the tiebreaker, because with that, he is actually incapable of winning the tiebreaker. Bacon will have more loots and a 4-minute gap to get this ruby ring. So Ostrava needs to work fast, and he needs to put the pressure on Baconman if he is going to take this thing. Yeah, Bacon once again doing a pretty good job with just getting around, avoiding guards, getting to rooftops with Bentley. Just a matter of which one of these guys is going to be the one, if it is the one, or will Ostrava just completely turn this match on its head and put Bacon on the clock? We'll have to see. It's actually, I don't think we've had a match in this tournament yet where somebody's had a time frame to win the match, like within 2 minutes or so, and then somebody has beaten that time frame. So could be very interesting if it happens, but like I said, Bacon getting a lot of loots. It's just, is one of these going to be the one? Oh man, yeah.
I don't know, EP5 sometimes it's really fast and sometimes it takes like so long to find the loot.
Yeah, EP5 sometimes, if you don't get large chunks of monkeys to spawn on top of each other, sometimes it can take a very long time to discover that elusive ruby ring. Sometimes it just pops up in an instant, so not really happening for Bacon right now, unfortunately, so we will have to see if his luck turns around or if Ostrava's ends up turning around, because like I said, anything can happen, and
Oh, there's the ring!
Anything that can happen! Ostrava making this super spicy now. He got the ring, one ring to rule them all, and now Bacon has to play catch-up. 4 minutes on the clock, give it to 28-20-ish. Bacon has 4 minutes. Those loot penalties coming in huge for Bacon right now, and he's got a time to beat now. Can he pull the ring in time? This is going to be interesting, folks. Scorpion tail. Oh, jeez. Power, how you feeling, man? This work gets fun.
Yeah, I was kinda nervous when I had to wait the 2 minutes, but now it's 4, so it's even more time for Baconman now.
Yeah, Bacon with, like I said, this right here is a situation where Bentley's boosting comes in insanely handy, because now with Bentley's ability to kill things, you would have to think, with Bentley's ability to kill things and move around, you'd have to think that he can get a lot more guard spawns in a short time frame, just a matter of, can he get it? It's about a minute that's already gone by on the timer. Is Bacon going to pull this out, guys? This is going to be clutch. Like I said, he has the first tiebreaker in the loots. He will have the loot lead no matter what if he ends up getting it within the 3 minutes. So forget the 3-minute, 10-second tiebreaker. He will be the winner if he gets it by then. I'm seeing 28-24 in chat as the official cutoff. So there's your time, folks. Ostrava just having fun messing around, taking out more guards. Oh man!
Find another ring.
Yeah, seriously, Ostrava just pulls. Who's pulled it? Slink, a Slink, and then a U actually, who found the other ring. So we'll have to see if he can do it. Bacon, unfortunately, not finding what he needs for a potential fiance. He's only getting the earrings, which, you know, not a suitable proposal item. People sad. Needs that elusive ring. Still 2 minutes have gone by. Oh geez, that's half the time frame. But he's got a loot here. Not the ring either. Just not getting the luck he needs. And as time ticks down, people's butts only get more and more clenched. Oh my gosh, folks. This is going to be so exciting. It's going to come down to the wire. Minute and a half now. Still no loots for Baconman. Boosting around at Monka running speed. There's a cat guard with loot. Is it going to be the one finally? And it's the scorpion tail. No! Ostrava, why did you make me think that was the same loot? Because it's round. It's not. Bacon pulled it. See, that's the other thing for Bacon now. Oh, geez, the Grand Key larceny mishap absolutely coming in huge, and now he doesn't need to worry about pulling loots that aren't the one. He just needs the ring because the coin tiebreaker is out of the question, but he has about a minute left on the clock. It's getting close for Baconman. It's do or die time now, ladies and gentlemen. Every loot pull matters. every single ounce of time is going to come into play, and any pull can be the one, but he's not getting it. Give it around another minute. Here we go. This is it, folks. Are you not entertained? Optimal loot for the win. Will the defending champion be defending, or will the kid upset it? There's a loot. It's not it either. No. Oh my god. Chat is panicking. Got another loot. Like I said, anyone can be it, but he's only getting pearl earrings. Oh gosh. If Bacon has a girlfriend, she's absolutely destroying him right now because I want the ring, god damn it. Excuse my French. Oh my gosh, no loots anywhere. It's in the 28-minute range. Bacon might have one or two more loots in him. No one has it.
It's over.
It's not over yet. I don't think so. I think he has like 10 seconds. Time enough for maybe one more pull for this guy. No loots. Give it to maybe 28. I don't know. I think he's going to run out of time. I think it's out of time. 24. The loot. Did he even have it? He had the scorpion tail, and the defending champ is defending no more. Ostrava, the new blood, going through Neon, the blue blood, and going through the defending champion Baconman to reach the final four of the Sly 4 Optimal Loot Tournament. Oh my goodness, what a match, ladies and gentlemen. And what an unfortunate last episode for Baconman.
Well, there goes my bracket because I had Baconman on the final.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well.
I think a lot of people had Bacon in the final four at least, but holy, what an intense match, ladies and gentlemen. Bacon's still not getting any loots in the last minute or so, but that got intense. What a match. Bacon's dreams, unfortunately, of bringing the Vita all the way to the finals. And
Rip the Nave, man.
The man versus man is officially dead. I don't believe we have any other runners on this side of the bracket with the man tag, I believe. Because who's the other match? It's Nave and Kaluk. Yeah, so no mans there, unfortunately. Man, oh man, though. Man, oh man. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, are you not entertained? Ostrava, that looked so unfortunate for him when he had to skip 2 loots in a row, but then getting the ring within the time frame, just getting the 1 loot that Bacon didn't need, even though he got 4. And just an unfortunate end of the match for Baconman, but so cool. And I'm very, very excited to talk with these 2 runners about how that match went and how they're feeling about it. All right. And speaking of the handsome gentleman, gentlemen, what a race. That was intense at the very end. Way to keep the chat entertained, and congratulations to both of you for making it this far and for giving us a very, very competitive race. We will start over on the right side of the screen with the now first member of our Final Four, Ostrava, man. How are you feeling?
I'm still coming down. That was the longest 4 minutes and 10 seconds of my life.
Were you guys talking during that whole time? Did you know?
Yes, we were talking the whole entire time.
Oh boy.
I will say thanks to Baconman. He's the one who got rid of my doubt of like, hey man, you can skip the episode 4 loot and it's just all up to RNG at that point. I was just like, as soon as that 7 minutes ticked, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Gosh, the enemy of, literally the competitor became the friend. And Ostrava, that ended up ironically saving you. We were all sitting over here when we thought you had to skip 2 loots. We knew that was going to put the pressure on you because it was either you get the ring first or game over. So how were you feeling about that?
Oh, I was extremely nervous. As soon as I saw the ring, I had a small breath of like that, and the pressure of the 4 minutes happened. During that 4 minute time, like because of just the nervousness, my hand started tingling, just waiting in anticipation for the rest of the run.
Yeah, it can be exciting when you're just waiting on that and you're waiting for someone to finish. And I guess one last thing real quick, the Murray strats in EP2, was that as a joke or was that actually something you had planned?
No, for some reason, I don't know. It may be just me. It was just a feeling. I did a practice run before we started today. pulled out Murray just to be like, how long will this take? And I'm like, I did pretty decent. I golded the split. Then I'm just like, you know what? I'm ahead right now. Let's have a little bit of fun. I've been lucky with Murray. Let's go for it. Then it happened to be the first loot, first guard.
Yeah, cat crazy. Just absolutely getting the luck you needed with Murray, and that was huge for you because Bacon also got the first 2 loots within a pretty fast time frame. And let's transition now over to Bacon. So I'm sorry to see that episode 5 didn't quite turn out the way you wanted it to, man, but how are you feeling and how did you feel within that last 4 minutes?
I mean, this was a lot of fun. I'm still looking for the ring, as to be honest, right now. Still.
So, yeah,
All I can say is I rooted the EP5.
Woo!
Anyone remember the Slide 3 Optimal Loot tournament where Root spent ages in EP5 as well?
Yeah, no, you're definitely not the first person to get stonewalled by this episode, unfortunately. We have seen a few people take some time here, especially with, you know, the clock ticking down. So, I guess I also wanted to ask you, I briefly mentioned to Ostrava about the loot strats, but did you have a mishap in Grand Key Larceny? Because I believe you had a file that started in the job, and then you had to exit out and go back.
Yeah, so I had tried out the Murray strats, and then I never resaved all the files, so it auto-saved in the job.
Alright, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so we weren't going to count that against you. Granted, I'm glad that you knew to, like, go out, go to the hideout, and then go back in, so that was cool to see you do. But
Yeah,
I guess...
ultimately, it only cost me more time.
Yeah, I mean, well, granted, not to sound like a negative Nancy, but I guess in the long run, that might not have mattered if your EP5 was still like this, but who knows, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Well, I still thank you for playing, though. Once again, it was really fun seeing the Sly on Bentley matchup, and I guess the Murray on Murray matchup for one round. That was epic to see. So, gentlemen, thank you both for playing. You both had an epic, epic match, and it was just crazy to see. But with that being said, folks, Ostrava, the new blood, taking down Tame Neon and then taking down the defending champ. He is going to the Final Four, which he will be guaranteed at least $25 of the prize pool. So look to see Ostrava in the Final Four, where he will be facing the winner of Knuutti and Nave on the left side of the bracket to the right to go to the championship, which we will get to in the coming days. But until that point, Power, do you have any final thoughts? And gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts? Words of wisdom?
Well, all I'm saying is, sorry, Powerman, you can go.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be interesting to see, do we have semi-final between Americans or is it American versus another Finnish runner, guys?
Could be interesting. And then just going down the line, Ostrava, next you can go.
Just to say, it is fated. Ever since it was said in Ginga's chat that me and Nave are mortal enemies, I expect to see him in the next round.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. No offense to Knuutti. Bacon, do you have anything to add on to that?
Well, the reason I lost was because Root joined the commentary VC beforehand, and that's why Root's bad karma in EP5 just got up on me.
Yo, you know what? They're perfect five-head explanation there. There's no other possible way. It is fated. It is fated that Ostrava and Gengo were destined to meet, and then Rude just fulfilled the prophecy. Had to happen. But if it has to happen, at the very least, it is very entertaining. But we will see if anything else has to happen. And if Nave does end up winning, or if Knuutti ends up breaking the prophecy, we will see how that match goes. And I'm sure it will be just as entertaining as this one. But until then, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in to the Sly 4 Optimal Loot Tournament. Always a blast commentating these with wonderful people and commentating over wonderful people, being here with the beautiful people in chat. Count how many times I just said people in there. Take a shot every time I said that. You'd probably die. Please don't do that.
I found the
But
ring,
until
let's
next
go!
Ring!
Yeah,
All right.
you finished the run.
The perfect end.
Hooray.
Completed the run, folks. The perfect end. And until then, Bacon now has the article he needs to propose to somebody, so congratulations. But until then, until we see you in the next Optimal Loot round, stay safe and stay sneaky, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.